Hi guys, welcome back to the channel on today, and so I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. I'm a little bit heated. So I actually came across something yesterday that I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't a part of it. I just sort of came across it, and it was a discussion that was going on some YouTube page, and it ended up getting me a little bit heated when I checked the comments about what was happening. So I'm just gonna do a Get OTT with me to sit around and talk about it with you guys because, you know, I didn't get involved in the situation because I felt that it wasn't going well from what I was seeing, and like I said, it does concern Lolita fashions. So I decided, let me just rant about this on my own channel and sort of just alleviate my grievances with what was going on, because I'm really just getting really tired of people who have absolutely no knowledge of J fashion or Lolita fashion acting as though they are the voices for it and they are just the ultimate scholars on it, and at the end of the day they're just confusing everyone even more than everyone already is about this wonderful fashion. How great is that? Isn't it always nice when people are not understanding the fashion and people who don't understand it themselves just make it worse? Don't we just love that? Don't we as just adore that when that happens? Yeah, if you haven't guessed, I'm gonna be a little bit angry in this video, but while I do so, this is going to be a Get OTT with me. The poll votes were tied actually for pink and mint and purple and yellow, and because I'm honestly more of in a ranty mood than in a come up with a cute chord, I decided to just go ahead and do mint and pink because it's going to be very straightforward. You guys pretty much have already seen this exact same chord before, but maybe I'll try to spice it up a little differently. So I'm going to just be on the side here picking up the accessories that we're going to be using today while I explain sort of what exactly went down. So for starters, this was just, from what I could tell, a random YouTube page that is not about Lolita fashion, J fashion, or anything at all. And it just posted this particular image, which I'm going to put on the screen for you guys. But basically it is a girl wearing GRIK and standing on what looks like a subway or something. I'm not exactly sure where she is or what the context of any of this is. But basically the image says, "Don't show this to weebs." Now, obviously, the general implication of what was going on here was that weebs were going to make this picture weird in some sort of way. We already know that there are just people out there who, for whatever reason, anytime something about J fashion or Lolita fashion comes up, they always have to make it into this creepy, weird, like, just... Well, let's just tell it how it is. They sort of just try to make it look some sort of weird pedo stuff. Like, they really want to bring pedos into everything for some reason, especially when it concerns J fashion. Anything cute, anything kawaii, they always want to make it seem like it's some sort of, like, pedo bait for some reason. And I cannot fathom why they do this. They do this all the time. They do it with Lolita. They do it with other J fashions. So, yeah, basically just this perfectly normal image of this girl wearing GRIK. And, of course, I guess Twitter had a problem with it. So that was basically the context, was that this account posted, Twitter was having a war over this image. The image, of course, being the girl wearing GRIK saying, "Don't show this to weebs." Now, I don't use Twitter like that. You guys know that most of the time on my Twitter, I'm just posting when I have a new video up. So I didn't see what the conflict was with this image. I don't know what the war was, whether it was in favor of GRIK or not. But the comment section where I saw this on the community post was basically calling it out, like saying, "No, there's nothing wrong with this. It's just an outfit. It's just a cute outfit. Anyone who thinks this outfit is weird is basically weird themselves." Like, it was primarily, by and large, going our way. Like, people, I'm sorry that my wig is very messy today. It really is just exemplifying the mood that I'm in, the just state of anger that I'm in right now. So I do apologize that I'm not 100% up to snuff like I usually am, but like I said, today it's just one of those days where I'm a little bit upset. So I do apologize that I'm not 100% as neat and clean as I usually am. But so like I said, it was going great with those comments, with those replies. But then I scrolled down, and I did not have to go very far because the comment was the most upvoted comment at the time. And the fact that this was the most upvoted comment at the time, it just really upsets me. So let me just read the comment for you guys. It said, "So, in Japan, Lolita fashion is considered cute, not sexy. Girls don't wear it for male attention. Do some people fetishize it? Yes, but that's not everyone. Literally everyone on this planet can be turned into literally everything on this planet can be turned into a fetish. That doesn't mean you need to make everyone who likes it out to be some kind of pervert." And then there's some, you know, other things. So that was the original comment. And other than the fact that this person incorrectly labeled GRIK as Lolita, you know, that the comment is basically correct. Like, yes, Lolita fashion is supposed to be cute. It's not at all meant to be worn for the attention of men or anyone else. It's just for the Lolitas ourselves to just feel cute and enjoy the clothes. You know, it's not anything deeper than that. So I guess at some point people had corrected this individual as to what the girl was wearing. So the edited post says, okay, 3 people have corrected me on what kind of fashion she's wearing. That's plenty. There's no need to keep spamming it. It's the same general idea. Cutesy frilly dresses based after kids' clothes from Europe a long time ago. So you guys can sort of see where I'm starting to get heated here. Like, why is this individual making some strange assertion that Lolita fashion has anything to do with children's clothes? Like, this is where it all starts. Like, I don't know if this person had any negative intentions, or maybe they were just not well versed on the subject, which again is one of my main gripes with this whole thing going on, is that why do you not know what you're talking about, and yet you're talking about it? But basically, I guess some people had corrected this person, and somehow in the midst of the correction, this individual just made it worse and said it's based on kids' clothes. Like, can we, I genuinely cannot understand what is the obsession and fascination with people who don't wear Lolita fashion wanting to associate it with children, and wanting to associate it with children's clothing, and wanting it to just associate it with the idea of childhood or something of that nature. Like, they desperately want Lolita to be something that has to do with kids, that has to do with children, that has to do with looking childlike, or basically, like I said before, just in some way making it like some sort of weird pedo bait. Like, I've seen that argument before. Anyone who wears Lolita, anyone who wears J fashion, they're just trying to get the attention of pedos. Like, imagine saying that to someone. Imagine saying that any grown adult woman wants to be associated with pedophiles, wants to be seen in a positive light by someone who is attracted to children, like a genuine predator. The idea that that was something that could be extrapolated from this is what bothered me. Like, even if that's not what this person thinks, the fact that you in your comment have said it's based on kids' clothes from Europe in the Victorian ages or whatever. Like, why are you using the phrase children's clothing? Was Lolita fashion inspired by like dolls, porcelain dolls? Yes. Are you associating dolls with children and now Lolita fashion with children? That's where I have a problem. That's where I start to be like, no, it's time to push back on this, because you're starting to turn this into like down a rabbit hole that it does not need to go, that it often goes far too often by these people who don't know what they're talking about. So I don't know if anyone ever corrected this person, because the last time I saw it, when I took the screenshot, it was still there. Like, so it's kind of says to me that maybe no one pushed back on this notion that it's based on kids' clothes, which it's not. It's based on Victorian and Rococo period fashion, yes. Kids' clothing? No. Specifically children? No. There's nothing childlike or childish in the concept of Lolita. Is sweet Lolita very frilly and cute? Yes. But the association with children is where I have to draw the line. It's where when people try to make it into this weird sexual deviant thing. And that's what bothers me. But that is not where it ended, my friends. It got worse. It got worse. So the actual main comment that I had a problem with was this disgusting, despicable comment right here, that it's just like, it's where when you're just so ignorant about something and yet you continue to speak about it and then don't correct yourself later, is what I had a problem with. So this comment, I'm assuming that this person was replying to someone who knew what Lolita was. So this person replied saying, I guess there are different kinds of Lolita, and adult women dressing and looking like a preteen, maybe even behaving. That's it. The classical schoolgirl fantasy. No petticoat needed or underwear. So at this point, my blood is boiling. My sheer urge to jump on this person is just building up within me. There is so much to say about this post that I cannot even. Let's just take it from the top. I guess there are different kinds of Lolita. So I guess this person is insinuating that there's normal Lolita, which we wear, and then there's this weird offshoot of it that I guess he was insinuating this picture sort of was trying to entail, which I don't know if this picture of this girl is an adult or a teenager or whatever, but I feel like that's completely irrelevant to what the situation is. But anyway, an adult woman dressing and looking like a preteen, maybe even behaving, that's it. So this person has convinced themselves, full stop, period, no questions about it, that Lolita has something to do with dressing like a preteen and acting like a preteen. I really just have to wonder where these people are getting this from. Like, where are you getting this from? I can't fathom that you're getting it from anime, because I watch anime and I don't see people dressing in what you would consider Lolita fashion and behaving and acting like preteens or just something odd or like that. Like, this person has no idea what he's talking about. Literally no idea what he's talking about, and is acting as if he is the arbiter of what Lolita fashion is, what in some capacity that it is. Like, he's clearly trying to say, so there's different kinds, and then insinuating that one kind has to do with adult women dressing and behaving like preteens in some sort of schoolgirl fantasy, and then saying, and no petticoat needed or underwear. So I'm assuming that the person he's replying to corrected him and said, you need to wear a petticoat, as in the person was wearing GYK. So maybe this is one of the people who corrected the original person. This is not the original person. This is a completely different person. This person is saying no petticoat or underwear needed. So he is just completely off the walls sexual deviant fantasy having to do with Lolita fashion. Now listen, maybe there is someone out there who, for whatever strange reason, uses Lolita fashion as some sort of sexual fetish of theirs that has something to do with children or looking like a teenager or something weird like that. I have no idea if this person exists, but considering the fact that we live in the world, surely I guess someone out there does that. To point this, or to posit this as though this is the main crux of the fashion, or at least a sizable portion of wearers of the fashion, is where I have a serious problem and why I'm making this video. So I really hate when people say that as a Lolita, like as an insert group here, I have a more intelligent opinion about insert subject than someone else. But on this subject, you absolutely cannot be speaking about this if you're not a Lolita, if you're not in the fashion, or at least not well educated on the fashion. You don't have to wear it. You don't have to be like big brand, like rich. Like, you don't have to be like one of those people. But you need to have some general understanding of the fashion and its history before you start making claims like this, because this is where people get confused. This is where ignorant people start jumping out and making ridiculous assertions like this. And this is what ends up hurting us. It's the people like this who don't know what they're talking about and are still talking about it, yet talking about it, going around and like saying things like this to people and just ruining the whole thing. Now, I don't think that this post had any upvotes, so thankfully it seems like no one was buying this or falling for this. But I just can't even like begin to break down like the amount of ignorance that is in this post that other people are going to believe. Like, other people are going to read this and they are going to start thinking that that is what Lolita is. Lolita is dressing up and trying to look like and behave like a preteen and some sort of schoolgirl fantasy for men, and or anyone else who's just into that. And they don't need to be even wearing underwear. Like, it's just this complete deviant, sexual, disgusting thing that is not what Lolita at its core is. Even if there's some offshoot fetish community that uses Lolita for that, does not mean that that's what Lolita is. Just because they're using Lolita to fulfill that desire does not mean that that's what the fashion is. That's not what the rest of us are into. We are complete, like the idea that we have anything to do with that is just beyond me. And can I also just briefly mention this just very weird association with cute frilly things with children? What since when does the color pink have to do with kids? Since when does frills and ruffles and just like this whole ensemble have to do with children? Obviously, yes, like generally speaking in the West, most children's clothing look like this and most adult clothing do not. But that doesn't mean that inherently there is some direct association with kids and children and just like cutesy clothing, and that if you're wearing this, you're trying to look like a child. Like, we're not trying to look like children. We're trying to look cute and just enjoy ourselves in this fashion that we like. They have cute, pretty designs. And like, I know there's gonna be an argument made for like certain prints, like Dreamy Baby Room. Like, a lot of people have a problem with Dreamy Baby Room because they were like, no, this is gonna be catering to that niche of people who think that's what Lolita is. Where it's like, well, I can definitely see that argument. I think you could also argue that maybe we need to stop like inherently associating babies with sex. Like, could we just stop doing that? Like, where's the jump? Even if you don't like the baby concept, the jump from it's a baby-ish concept to this is sexual, that's just a complete leap. Like, that is completely like, can we not do that? Can that not be it? Like, what if Dreamy Baby Room, like maybe someone, I'm just throwing this out here, maybe someone enjoys Dreamy Baby Room because they're a mother. Maybe she has a child. Maybe when she has Dreamy Baby Room on, she thinks of her child. Maybe she's an expecting mother. I've seen expecting mothers wear Lolita. I don't know necessarily that, like, I'm not saying that they would specifically have a connection to Dreamy Baby Room, but I'm just trying to say, like, the idea that the first thing you jump to when you see baby or baby room is sexual it's a little sus. I'm a little bit concerned about you. If that's what the first thing that comes to mind for you is when you hear the word baby is sexual, I'm a little bit concerned. I'm just saying. It's a little weird. I don't think of sex or sexual behavior or promiscuity when I think of the word baby. So I'm just throwing that out there. I personally don't have a problem with the dress Dreamy Baby Room. I don't want it. Like, I mean, I kind of like it, but it's not anything like I genuinely just really want. But even if it was something that I wanted or owned, it would not in any universe be in my mind that I'm trying to look like a baby or trying to act like a baby. Like, I've never seen that dress promoted that way. I've never seen them, like, if people were promoting that dress just like with pacifiers in their mouths and just shaking a rattle, then yes, you would definitely have an argument. Okay, they're definitely trying to like push this towards a certain group. But that is not how that dress is promoted. That's not how I've ever seen anyone wear that dress. I've never seen like this. Strictly, it's meant to be baby, like baby-fied. Like, I want to look like a baby. That is not what that dress is. That's not what anything in Lolita is. Sweet Lolita, even the other things, even the other J fashions, Fairy K, they were saying this about Jirai K even. If Jirai K is not safe from these weirdos, then what sub-style is, what J fashion is? Because at this point, y'all just want any and every variant of J fashion to just be problematic and to just be questionable and concerned. And that is not what we're looking for here. So this person, the exact same individual who made this post, came back and made another post. So again, I'm guessing that someone corrected this individual and said, that is not what Lolita is. So he came back and made another post, which is the worst one so far. So what does it say? Let's say it's hard for me to separate Lolita or Lolly, a young girl with a sexual appearance, or a very flirty young girl from 9 to 14. This is how he's defining the word Lolita. A young girl with a sexual appearance, or a very flirty young girl from Lolita fashion. So he's saying it's hard for him to separate a Lolita from Lolita fashion. Well, I'll just wait until I finish reading. Especially since Lolita is a 1900 book from Vladimir, forgot his last name, about his love for a minor. Now, we all know, anyone who's in Lolita fashion has probably unfortunately been exposed to the fact that yes, there is a book named Lolita about a man, a grown man, who was sexually attracted to a child in the book. And the girl's name, if I remember correctly, was Dolores. And the girl's nickname, he nicknamed her Lolita. So I'm going to continue reading the comment. A minor woman, a Lolita. Or no. A child woman, a Lolita. As far as I know, he pretty much owned and signed the term with his book and the movies. Don't know if he invented it though. Lolita complex is a child attraction pedophilia. Now let's pull back again, because once again, this person, he's just completely off the walls. He has no idea what he's talking about. He is completely accepted at his own delusional belief of what Lolita or a Lolita is. So yes, there is a book called Lolita. It's about a grown man who is attracted to a child. Obviously not a good book. And from my understanding, the author of the book was obviously not in support of that type of relationship, but he's allowed to write the book. I'm not going to say he's not allowed to write the book. Not all literature is comfortable. Sometimes we read things that are uncomfortable. So I'm not mad at him for writing the book. I'm mad at first of all, I'm mad that he chose the name Lolita. Like, bro, really? You could have picked any other name. But anyway, he chose that name. That's what he chose. He's whatever. I'm mad that people have taken that and are associating that with the fashion. The fashion has nothing to do with the book. If you're watching this and you don't know anything about Lolita and you've somehow stumbled upon this video, please know that what this commenter is saying, he is the type of person to take the book and just completely run with it and have no nuance about the fact that the word Lolita is not always used in the context of the character in the book. So the fact that he's defining a Lolita as a young girl with a sexual appearance, or a flirty young girl 9 to 14, and associating that with the term Lolita is what we Lolitas have a problem with. Because he is associating one character from one book, and saying anyone with the word Lolita attached to them is trying to look like a young girl, or is a young girl, and is also trying to be sexual or flirty because of what the character in this book was behaving like. Now, he's also saying several other extremely questionable things in this post, saying a child woman, a Lolita. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that there's no such thing as a child woman. There's no, that's not a thing. You're a child or you're a woman. You're a child or you're an adult. Children are children. Lolitas are grown adults with money so that we can support this fashion that we enjoy. So to say a child woman in itself is just an oxymoron in the most general sense of the word. There's no such thing as a child woman. You're either a child or you're a woman. Anyone trying to associate children and making them like adults is the questionable person here. So this person here is, again, I just have some questions. You know, I just a little concerned about what this person is thinking. Again, then he goes on to say he doesn't know where exactly the term came from, which please release your chokehold on this term. And then say Lolita complex is a child attraction pedophilia. So again, this is something that is going to have to take some semblance of nuance. So as an avid anime watcher, I have of course heard the term Lolita complex. Now in the concept or topic of anime, a Lolita complex is not necessarily a child attraction. It is an attraction to women, generally it is adult women who happen to, I guess, look younger. Like not necessarily they look old or don't look their age and that they look like children, but they just look younger. For example, an example that I always think of when I hear this is Lucky Star. In Lucky Star, there's a character named Konata who looks very young. And I don't know about the intentions of the director as to why that is, whether or not it was just an inside joke. Because you guys also have to understand the cultural differences that Japan does not have this huge stigma against like baby young things. Like I mentioned earlier, the Junior Baby Room. The baby motif, from what I understand in Japan, is just seen as something cute. There's no weirdness associated with it. Whereas once you bring it over to the West, people start getting weird. But anyway, the Lolita complex in terms of anime, there was this character and her father, he said that he had a Lolita complex and that was why he married her mother, which was a grown adult woman. She just looked very young. She had, she was a flat-chested woman. Maybe he was just into that, Not everyone has to like big boobas. So maybe he liked small boobas. That doesn't mean he liked children. That doesn't mean he liked the idea that she looked like a child. That just means that's what he was into. Regardless of that terminology, that is completely removed from, again, the fashion. The fact that he's saying a Lolita complex is a child attraction and pedophilia is, again, what is problematic here. The association with Lolita fashion, or people who refer to themselves as Lolitas, us who wear the clothes, as trying to bait pedophiles is, again, the problem that I have here. And again, I do have to say, the vast majority of the comment section was not saying this. The vast majority were thankfully saying there is nothing wrong with what she's wearing. It's just clothes. If you see it as weird, you have a problem. But my problem is with these individuals here who think that they're correct on what Lolita is and what a Lolita is, and their association of grown women trying to be children or trying to act like children or trying to in some way get the attention of pedophiles. I can't wrap my head around anyone who thinks that we wake up in the morning, decide to put on a very cute Coord, and are just waiting to go outside like, I can't wait to get some pedophiles looking at me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what goes through your mind? What goes through your mind to come up with that expression or phrase in your head to think that grown women just wanting to wear clothes that we like are trying to get the attention of predators? I can't understand that thought, that logic, that concept. Also, I do want to also reiterate for anyone who is confused, a pedophile is someone who's attracted to child, not grown women. Not grown women who, even if you want to make the argument, are dressing like children, which we're not, but even if you wanted to make that argument, a pedophile would not be into that. A pedophile is into a child because they can manipulate children. A pedophile is not going to want anything to do with a grown adult woman. They don't date grown adult women regardless of what they're wearing. Like, literally. That is the entire meaning of the word. So the fact that you have people who are not understanding what the word pedophile means and then associating Lolita fashion with pedophiles and just trying to somehow join all of this nonsense together, throw the book in there too, throw Lolita the book in there too because it's a kid named Lolita. God forbid we separate one character's name from the concept of fashion, which is, again, something that originated in Japan, just completely from all the research that I've heard, that all Lolitas have talked about, the idea that Lolita, the book, or anything like that associated with like sexualizing children has nothing to do with the formation or creation of the fashion or anything like that, or the cutesiness, the kawaii culture, which again JRIK falls under, because again this goes back to that one image. All of the J fashion generally tends to fall under the kawaii umbrella, which people are just dead set on associating with children and pedophilia and sexual nature, flirtiness with grown men or people who are much older than them. This whole thing, it's just, I just had to talk about it because I can't, I really, like, when I saw this comment, I was like, if someone does not correct this person on this, it's over for us. I'm laughing, but like, it's genuinely over. If people like this are going around being the arbiters for what Lolita is in a comment section of 99% people who don't know what they're talking about, and this person who doesn't know what he's talking about is also being listened to, and people are like believing this. And like I said, again, I generally don't like the listen to the people, because I feel like anyone can have an opinion on anything, but I feel like you can also be incorrect on your assessment, or at least misinformed. Like, being as generous as possible, this person is extremely misinformed. This person has been learning from people who are very desperate to associate anything with cute, kawaii culture with children, and associating that further with wanting to be sexual with it. Like, he's fallen down, like, the path of people who are into that, and he's not really... I don't think he's interested in listening to what actual Lolitas have to say about it. I think this person has more or less decided that he already knows what Lolita is, and that his opinion is not going to be changing. Like, he literally is already saying, it's hard for me to separate a Lolita from Lolita fashion, and his definition of a Lolita is a young girl with a sexual or flirty appearance. So he's already gone off the deep end. He's already like a lost cause. He's already unwilling to even consider the fact that a Lolita is not a young child, is not a sexual young child, is not anything associated with pedophiles. He's associating Lolita complex with pedophilia, which, again, regardless of your opinion of people who may be into women who just look younger, or maybe, again, like, are flat-chested, because that's what the joke with the anime character was that she had a flat chest and she looked young because of that. But, like, women who have flatter chests are not children. Like, we're still adults. Women who are short are still adults. I'm very short myself. People always mistake me for a child. Not even when I'm not wearing Lolita. Like, when I'm just out and about in normal clothing, people still mistake me for a child or a teenager at bare minimum. Like, they think I'm like 13, 14, 15. We're still women. We're still adults. We're still grown adults with money and jobs and can afford to wear whatever we want. So the idea that you're babyfying, childifying, whatever you want to call it, grown women because they're not well endowed or tall or just like the average height and weight, the look of a woman, does not mean that they're children. Like, that's where I have my concerns. That's where I have my questions. And that's why when I saw these comments, I got a little bit heated. And I just had to just rant. I had to just get this video out there, because if anyone who is like these people and sees this and can in some capacity, like, get informed on, again, what Lolita fashion is, what Lolitas are, like, it's just the separation from weird pedophiles from the fashion. If one person sees this and they like, oh my gosh, I was under the wrong impression, thank you for the informing me, or good to know from now on. Like, if one person sees that and they change their mind and they're willing to understand the difference, then that's enough for me. But we really need to stop this just needs to stop. It's just so frustrating. It's so annoying. And it's so annoying when you know that no one is listening to you, and the most upvoted posts are the ones of people saying it's based on kids' clothes. Like, when the most upvoted post is not like the one or two Lolitas in there who are apparently fighting the good fight and trying to set the record straight, when those are not the top comments, then we have a problem here. You know, we have Houston, we have a problem. We need to, this cannot be a thing where randos who have no idea what they're talking about are the ones people are listening to. Because now, people who may have had absolutely no idea about Lolita fashion are listening to two individuals who don't know what they're talking about in any capacity, and are not being corrected, or at least one of them was somewhat being corrected from what I saw. The other one, I didn't see anyone. It seems that's because he was replying to someone else, he got corrected at least once. But, like, only one person fighting back against that, you know, it's gonna happen when, like I said, the person, as far as I'm aware, was not a Lolita-based channel. I don't know who that person is, the word that this community post came from. It didn't look like it came from a Lolita-based channel, because obviously the person would have probably, I assume, fought back against it immediately. So I'm already assuming that person was Lolita, so obviously their viewers were not Lolitas. But when something like this happens and the audience that is seeing it is not a Lolita, it really just hurts us. And like I said, so you may be wondering, so why didn't you actually say anything? Because at that point it was useless. Like, there was no point in going in. Like, I think the post had happened like 6 hours ago. So if in 6 hours no one had corrected this person and said it's based on Rococo period, Victorian period era clothing, but not children, you know, at that point, like, what's the point in me jumping in? Like, again, I'm also one person. Like, it's really not gonna do anything. Rather, I can make a video like this and hope that it actually gets out there to people who are misinformed or just confused about what Lolita is, which is understandable. I'm not blaming anyone for not knowing. It's, like, not a common popular thing in the West right now, so I understand if people are not into it. That's okay. But it would be nice if these people could see like actual Lolitas explaining this is what the fashion is, this is what it is absolutely not, that we have no part in that, we do not want to be associated with that. Any niche group of people who are using it for some weird sexual fetish, that is not us. We are not associated with that. That is what would be great. If when these things pop up, Lolitas are the ones talking about it. So that's why I made this video. And, you know, I am disappointed that I had to, you know, spend our Get OTT with me ranting more than putting on a cute Coord. I really did not do much in terms of my accessories today. I would usually stand up and show you guys everything, but at this point, I'm kind of done with the rant. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. I, you know, feel like if there's anything else that comes to mind, I'll maybe post it in the comments or something, but you guys in the comment section below, what do you think about this? I'm sure you're just as mad as I was, but, you know, hey, does this happen frequently to you? Do you see this type of thing going on often? And it's like, you know, again, I do have to say, at the very least, I do have to say, again, most of the people in the comments were perfectly fine with what the girl was wearing. The GRK, and are fine with Lolita in general. Like, they had no problem with it. So, thankfully, the vast majority of people were not making it into something weird. But again, there's always going to be some people who think they know what they're talking about, that for whatever reason want to be like, yeah, guys, there's nothing wrong with what she's wearing. This is what Lolita fashion is. And then they're completely wrong. Like, it's like you were so close. Like, we were so close to greatness. But we always fall short. So, that's going to be it from me for today. Sorry that it was more of a ranty video than a normal Get OTT with me video, or the fun video that I was planning on doing anyway. Hopefully that video will be recorded and up next week. But that's going to be it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. See you guys later.